All right, it looks like we are live. Welcome 2025. Hi, Brendan. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. It's a little chilly over here in Western PA. How about where you're at?
Yeah, it's a little chilly in the central Pennsylvania right now, and the eastern side is also pretty chilly.
Yes. Do you have snow?
Yeah, we have some snow on the ground right now, but not a lot.
Oh, so my husband had to get the snowblower out this weekend. That's how much snow we got. So,
Oh
little
wow.
bit of snow. Yes. Well, welcome to KTI Chat. We are so glad you're joining us. We're going to go ahead and put our first question up on the board. Today is January 14th, and we are talking about igniting joy in learning. So, our first question is simply to introduce yourself. Tell us your name, where you live, what job you are doing right now, and your KTI Summit year. Brendan, tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Brendan Powell. I am a K-2 STEM teacher at Collegium Charter School, and I live out in Lancaster. And my KTI year is 2024. So I just had my KTI experience last summer. So it was an awesome experience.
Yes, it was a good week. My name is Melissa Krenzer. I live in Western Pennsylvania in Grove City to be exact. And I teach sixth grade math at Grove City Middle School. And my KTI Summit year was 2021. And I've been a lead learner for the last 3 years as well. So we are excited to host you tonight. And I saw Sandra had already posted something about 49 degrees. That's crazy. I think she's
That's
in
crazy.
Eastern PA, closer to New York City and Philly, in that region of the world. Anyway, 49. I think it was like 17 when I got in my car after school today.
It was like 27 when I got into my car this afternoon.
Yes. And how was your classroom? Was your classroom hot, or is that your classroom cold? Or
It really depends because like my room is right next to two windows, and I have the door to the playground outside, and every time the kids walk out, it gets a little cold, and then it heats up again, and then it gets cold, and it's all varies, but it's
sure,
not bad. How's
sure.
your room?
Um, the middle school is an older building, so it's a little bit on the chilly side. The school I was in 2 years ago, I could never wear a sweater; it was always warm, and plus it was like for littler kids. Um, and now I still open my window. I like it cooler. I don't want the kids to get sleepy. I don't want it to be too warm. I tell them to make sure they have a hoodie with them all the time and don't wear your coat because they're not allowed to wear your coats. But
Yeah, I always tell my kids, I'm like, be prepared. You never know what the temperature is gonna be in here.
right, exactly. Yeah, I even sent a message to a parent. I'm like, does your son have any hoodies? Can you please send one? He's putting his hands inside his shirt as he's standing up at the board working.
He's like, I'm trying to do my work, but I can't.
Yeah, right. And the mom was like, of course he has hoodies. But that's wintertime for you. You never know what the temperature is going to be. Let's just hope next month when we're traveling to Hershey for Pete and C that the weather cooperates. I remember one year I went, I don't know if it was 21 or 22, the area schools actually had a snow day, and we were all at Hershey, so we didn't care what it was doing outside. But I remember people having snow days or delays while we were at Hershey. So
There's Sandra again. She is a KTI. Oh, there it goes. It's gone now. Oh, there it goes. She is a middle school computer science teacher at East Stroudsburg area school district by the Poconos, and her KTI year is 2022.
yes, she's a mover and a shaker. Megan's joining us from York. She is an English teacher and she was a KTR star in 2023. Hi, Megan. Glad you're with us today. All right, we're going to put up our second question. Go ahead, Brendan.
So, our second question today is, how do you help students stay motivated and focused during the winter slump?
Ooh, is there such a thing as a winter slump, do you think?
I see some of it, but I feel like my kids in my room don't show it that often.
Okay.
They honestly, my kids are very energetic. Anytime they come into my room, and they always want to learn whatever
Yeah.
we're learning about, which is awesome. because like I'm kind of the hands-on teacher that like always make sure that I'm having fun. But
Yes.
sometimes one kid, I always get one or two kids be like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, just try it, please, just try it.
Right. Yeah, sure. Then you have to encourage that growth mindset, right? To
Yeah,
not
very much so.
Yeah. I think for me, the winter slump is just, of course, trying to stay healthy because there's so much sickness going around. And the dark, dark days. That's the one I think disadvantage living in Western Pennsylvania this time of year. I don't mind the cold. It's just the dark and the gray without the sun. And yesterday, the sun, even though it was 15 degrees yesterday, the sun was peeking out. And I was just so happy because the sun just makes everything feel better. But one of the things I do is just to get kids up out of their seats and get them excited. Today we did a breakout room, like an escape room, and got them involved in their learning. And I think, like you said, hands-on is so important, even in 6th grade math. As much as I can be hands-on, I try to do hands-on activities.
Yeah, I try to make sure that my kids are like always doing something hands-on with my lesson. I'm like, they cannot just sit at their seat. They need to do something with their hands or just like something just to move them around the room. Because like definitely my kindergartners are like freaking out because they can't go outside for recess. They're like, I want to go play. I'm like, we're about to learn first and then play.
Yeah, that's your reward. Sure. Dom chimed in and said he likes to try different activities and experiment with new ideas in the winter months. Yeah, you got to keep things fresh. And, one thing, I was in a meeting about AI today in my building, and we were talking about just using ChatGPT for ideas. And I thought, why couldn't you just put, how can I make this specific lesson for my 6th grade math class more engaging and have ChatGPT help me like be more creative?
Oh, Megan chimed in and she talked about classroom competitions. That sounds awesome.
Yeah, I need to know more, Megan. Come on, tell us more. I know I do a gamification, and every Friday we do a dice battle, and they look forward to those dice battles. It's a silly thing I do the last 10 minutes of the week, but they earn their XP, they're leveling up, they're playing against stormtroopers, and they're having a blast. And it's a silly thing, but they love it. So class competitions.
Yeah, because you guys are doing gamification, so.
Yeah, it's so much fun. Jessica, nice to see you joining us. And she's, I don't know what SDOL is.
It's the school district of Lancaster.
She's what?
The school district of Lancaster.
Oh, okay. Thank you. 3rd grade teacher. So thanks for joining us, Jessica. How do you help students stay motivated and focused? That's what we're talking about right now. Another thing to keep them motivated is, I think, just having them have ownership of what they're doing, and then giving that choice, right? Like, you have to choose one of these 4 things to do during this time, or how do you need to work on the standard that we're working on, or what do you need to do to practice? You need to work on this or that. So giving them that choice is so important.
What I do too is like, when I do like different projects and stuff like that, I make sure that I have like different materials out there for the kids so they can like definitely choose what.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And like I always put a material that does not work just to see if they like change it halfway through. They're like, oh, that did not work at all. We should probably just change it to this material.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Eric is joining us tonight. Music in class is a motivator, allowing them to give you a few songs to play. Oh, I love that. However, I truly encourage you to vet it. The other day, they wanted me to play California Girls, and I was thinking Beach Boys, California Girls, not the newer one. And I was like, I started playing, and I'm like, no, we shouldn't be listening to this. Oops.
You're like, no, don't listen to that.
Right.
Oh, Jess just talked about saying denial and keeping herself motivated.
Right. It is about keeping us motivated too, right? Like, we have to have something to look forward to this time of year as well. So I think Megan is elaborating on her class competitions. She says, I'll split the kids into groups or in half and set criteria for the kids to earn points. Behavior, classwork, SEL, and most points at the end wins. I usually let them have input on the prize as well. I love that so much. So totally into gamification. You know me and gamification, but that is really cool. It's interesting what type of prizes kids like, right? Do you do any sort of prizes?
Oh, I do like a lot of stickers and stuff like that. All my
Okay.
kindergartners love stickers anytime they do it.
Yeah.
Like they're like, "Can we work for lollipops and stickers?" I'm like, "Sure, I can get you
Yeah,
dum dums
I
and
can
stuff like that."
afford lollipops and stickers for sure. Sandra's been sick. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that. Yes, we're finishing the semester. Tomorrow's our end of our semester too. And I love your thought about reflecting on how this semester went for them. That is that self-reflection, and that's just so valuable. What did you learn? How did you grow? Love that so much. Do you do self-reflection with your STEM kids, Brendan?
Yeah, like when we do major projects and stuff like that, I make sure that like we have time to at the end of class be like, okay, how well did it work? Did it work well? Did it not work well? And like most times the kids like, it didn't work at all. I'm like, okay, then we can try better next time to see if we can do it better.
Yeah, that's great. Or even just coming up with solutions. Well, if we would have had more time, we could have tried this, and like seeing other
Yeah.
ways that they could, um, yeah, different
Well,
versions of their thinking.
my kids was like, you should just like let us have all the time in the afternoon to get this project done. I was like, guys, I have you for 40 minutes. That's it.
Right. That's our time limit, unfortunately. Smelly stickers, Jessica says. Oh, I love that. I remember as a kid loving those smelly stickers and water bottle stickers. Yes, I still have a slew of them. You buy them by the hundreds, right, from Amazon, and love that.
Oh, silent disco. That sounds
What is
fun.
that?
So
Define
where
that.
you wear like headphones and stuff like that, and the kids like listen to the music and they just dance around pretty much, and they just love it.
I can see third graders doing it. My sixth graders, not so much. Although every once in a while I'll put on my favorite YouTube dancer is DJ Raffi, and he like does like Cotton Eye Joe and Cupid Shuffle, and it's really easy to follow. And the kids will actually dance on half of the kids.
Sandra just said that she's a geek and she goes to Comic-Con and she gets tons of free stuff for prizes and stuff like that for their games. That's awesome. That's a great way to get resources.
Oh yeah. Well, and Pete and C coming up, we're gonna get lots of swag. I always put the swag in my treasure chest prize box.
Oh, I'm keeping most of it for myself. I'm not giving that to my students.
And they dance to nothing. Oh my gosh, Jessica, that is hilarious. She says she just tells them silent disco. It's quiet, weird dancing. It's amazing. That is like their own music in their head. That's amazing. Third graders they have no inhibitions. All right, we're ready for question 3 right now. So question 3 tonight is, how do you maintain your own energy and motivation during the darker months of winter? And don't forget to include A3 in the hashtag KTI Chat, especially if you're on X. Brendan, do you want to answer that for us?
Yeah, definitely. How I keep myself motivated and I keep my energy up is that like I always try to have a smile on my face whenever I see my students and stuff like that. And then like the other thing is too, like after work, I make sure that like I do something fun, like something for myself. And I always like go for like a walk, I go for a run or something like that, just to keep myself motivated. Just like throughout these darker months, I know it's like harder to do that, but I just enjoy just being like outside, just like alone.
That is fantastic. Exercise is always good for those endorphins. Jen's joining in tonight. Good to hear from you, Jen. She likes to work on TED Ed Talks. That's amazing. That is really cool. And Sandra says, you need a nice treasure box. How about checking out Hobby Lobby or Michael's? They probably have something. Or even like Facebook Marketplace, right? That would be a good way to. Anybody have a box? That would be good.
Dom said that he wants to keep connected with his PLN.
Yeah, there's a lot happening in the next month or so for checking in with your professional learning network. I know a couple of us in this region will be at Tretzi on Monday, which is the Tri-Rivers Tech Conference. Yep, I'll be there too. Don will be there. And then, of course, we have Pete and C next month. And we'll talk about some other PAECT events happening ahead. Jen loves to interact with her kiddos, parents, and colleagues and sharing the joy. Yes, she exudes joy. I remember that from Summit. Go ahead and read Jess.
Jess talked about like reading and playing games with the family, like her family, and going out to dinner. Yep, I agree. That's always fun.
Yeah, I feel like I have to have things built in to look forward to. Like if I can, like this month, I have this to look forward to get me through next month. And it's not all just like professional stuff, but also like with my family, with my friends. I think that's important.
Sandra's looking forward to Pete and C.
Great. Yes, we'll see you there. I hope you're presenting, Sandra, because you always do such an amazing job. Jessica, you're going to be at Pete and C too. Yay! That's so exciting. We have our Pete and C KTI family pre-conference we'll talk about at the end, but make sure you're checking us out and come and see us on Sunday.
Oh, there's Amy. Amy's joining us, and she says she does a lot of shopping for warm clothes.
She gets excited when they arrive. That's hilarious.
And then she has like lunch bunch with some friends and stuff like that outside the content area, which is awesome. Like that's how you like can make more connections with outside of like your network of people.
Right. Yeah. Doesn't it seem we talk to the same teachers every day, like whoever you eat lunch with, or like the people that are beside you across the hall. Yeah, I love seeing like other teachers for us, other grade levels, because we eat by grade levels. So yeah, loving that. Jen says she's volunteering at Pete and C. Yay, that's great. It's a great way to go to Pete for free.
Sandra talked about that she has a lot of family and friends' birthdays in January through March, which helps. Oh my, that does help a lot. See them.
As long as everybody's healthy, right?
Exactly.
Yes. Fantastic.
Yeah. I'm actually also volunteering for Pete and C, so I'm gonna be like looking forward to hang out with those people as well.
Okay, so you won't be able to be at pre-conference then, unfortunately.
Yeah. I'll try to make it. I'll try to sneak away.
Okay. All right. It'll be fun. At least get our resources that we're going to be sharing. That's fantastic. Exactly. So let's talk about energy. I mean, I'm a high energy person. So what do we do to maintain that energy? I think for me, I've got to get sleep. Are you like, I'm not a night owl. I'm an early bird, but I need like good 8 to 9 hours of sleep.
I don't drink coffee or like I don't drink any type of caffeine. So like all my energy is from like when I sleep or whenever like I pretty much I wake up and I'm like, okay, let's go. Let's get this stuff done. And most of my colleagues are like, can you like I need to finish my coffee first. Stop it.
That's my husband. I love coffee, but I'm not like that. I can be wide awake and ready to go. It's sleep. I think, like you said, exercise is so important, even if it's just walking. And I've been actually walking around the school after school because I can't take my dogs and outside right now. It's too cold and their feet, no, not happening. But yeah, I like to walk. I listen to podcasts while I walk around the school building. It's really boring to walk around the school building, but at least I can get my steps in. And that's important. Drinking lots of water, of course, and making sure those kids' germs stay far, far, far away from you. Right? Thankfully, I've only been sick like once this school year, knock on wood. So
yeah, Jess and Jen are talking about they like love sleep and stuff like that. And Jen's talking about like she likes working out to keep her energy up and novel experiences to keep feeding her brain, which is really good.
Cool. That's cool. Sandra says I'm a horrible sleeper. I do find I'm snuggle up, which helps you get more sleep. So do you like to sleep when it's cold or sleep when it's hot? Like
I love sleeping in the cold.
Okay, yeah, me too. Yeah. It's pretty much the only time of day I like to be cold. We heat with wood in our house, so it's really warm most of the time. So we don't have to pay very much for our heat. But
we keep our temperature at like 68 degrees, and my roommate's like, "It's so cold in here." I'm like, "Don't touch that. We're not touching that. We're not going any lower."
Right. All right, we are ready to go on to question 4, Brendan. Go ahead.
Okay, share a lesson, project, or a game that has been a hit in your students this time of year.
Good question. Lesson, project, or game. So, of course, gamification. I play some games. My favorite right now, it's like a capture the flag. But since I have a Star Wars theme, I don't know, did you see my Darth Vader behind me? That was my Christmas.
Yes, I did.
So capture the flag, capture the kyber crystals, which kyber crystals are what you use to make lightsabers. And the students all start with 4, and then they work on worksheet problems. And if they get it correct, they get to go steal a crystal from another team. And then you don't, and they're all different colors, and you don't know the point values of the colors. And at the end of the game, when all the questions are answered, then I tell them the point values, and sometimes they can even be negative numbers. And then they have to write the expression that would use to solve their points, which is of course math. And then the winner gets, XP points. So that's kind of my funnest game right now is capture the flag, or my version, capture the kyber crystals.
So what I use in my room right now is that like my first graders and my second graders are both learning how to code AI on code.org. And
Nice.
They have been loving it. And they always ask me, can we do more? Can we do more? Can we do more? I'm like, guys, we have 5 minutes left in class. We have to reflect and get in line. Let's go.
That's awesome. Sue's chiming in with us tonight. She says she loves co-teaching anything with robotics and coding. So she's kind of in the same boat as you are.
Yeah, and then Dom jumped in and said, my students love attacking me and book it. Kahoot has upgraded, and they've been enjoying them recently, which is awesome because Kahoot's such a good tool, and Book It is also a good tool.
Yeah, and it's good that Kahoot kind of upped their game. They were the first ones out like 10, 12 years ago with this gamification, and they kind of grew stale, and I'm glad they're updating. Jen says school-wide estimation challenges with prize patrol. Uh-oh, she stole our prize patrol idea. I wonder if there's some usher going on.
Megan talked about her senior projects seniors are loving their senior project papers where they explore future careers, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And they get to share with a peer presentation. That's actually really cool because they can see what other people are passionate about and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like an 18-year-old really knows what they're gonna be when they grow up, but it's really good it's like they're starting to explore what else is out there, because they tend to only know what mom or dad or aunt and uncle do. So it's really cool that she does that. Jessica chimed in with Book It or Gimkit each day for math. Oh, that's exciting. My students like Book It. They like the one with what's the one with the cyber attack? I can't remember what it's called. But,
I don't remember what it's called, but my older kids, when I sub for different buildings, they're like, can you do a Book It? I'm like, sure, we can do it. Let's go.
Right, crypto hack, that's what it's called. So yeah, they like the crypto hack. Then we did Gimkit at Christmas time, and they like the snowball fight one.
So Sandra said that we're starting to prep for a media and design competition, which is, that's awesome. And the kids absolutely love it.
That would be cool. Amy mentions at the end of units, they work through a Google form, and they have what they call bucket challenges. They find all the materials they need in a bucket and have to work to unlock the form as they go. That's fantastic. Jen says Bloomer. I haven't heard of Bloomer. That's cool. Today I did an escape room. Those are always one of my favorite things to do. Just something I purchased online that they had to do the math, solve the puzzle, and put it into a Google form. It was all digital. It was so much fun. They loved it. They were like, is class over already? And I have an 80-minute block class. So
wow.
It's a long class. Yeah, they're like, is it over already? I'm like, yeah, you just spent the whole 60 of the 80 minutes doing this activity, and they were on task the whole time. Very cool.
That's awesome. That's the best kind of feeling. You're like, I need this today because my kids are going to be bonkers if they are not engaged.
Yeah. It was our review for our test that we have tomorrow, and it's exciting. Very exciting. So let's see what else. What other lessons or projects are out there that people have that are hits? Do you ever do the snowball fight one?
I saw.
Yeah, they put on a math problem on a piece of paper, and then you crumple it up, and then they throw it across the room, They go retrieve
Yeah.
a snowball, and then I have whiteboards for my students, and they'll solve the problem on the whiteboard, finish, check their answer on the back. Usually what I do, crumple up it again, throw it across the room, get them out of their seat, make it fun, make it engaging.
Yeah. The other cool thing is that like right now we're in the prime season for my robotics team.
Okay.
So like my kiddos are working really hard to like work on their design of the robot, and they actually did a very nice job in their last competition. So I was very happy with that. And they were like,
is that Vex Go or Vex?
Vex IQ.
Vex IQ. Fantastic. Sue says, love a good snowball vocabulary fight. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, for sure.
That's a fun idea.
Yeah, that is. So what other tools could we use for games? And we said Blooket, we said Kahoot, we said YimKit. I like Quizzes, and Quizzes has a really cool AI feature that they just came out with last year, where AI can actually help you. They'll search all the tests already made or the quizzes already made, and they'll help you compose your own quizzes for your content area. I think that is so cool. I actually like Quizzes for like a homework assignment too, because it'll grade it and check it as they go, and they can't move on unless they get it right.
That's actually very useful, because like sometimes the kids just want to rush through it and be like, I'm done. I'm not doing this.
Right. And race through it. And like you can, there's all those settings. You can turn off, the timed part. You don't have to have it timed. You don't have to have it public. It could be private, or you can have a public leaderboard, but you don't have to. Quizzes is probably one of my favorites for sure.
Jen said, we did a snowball fight thing last year and could not find one. Went across the entire room and landed in a tiny basket.
Totally have had that stuff happen before. You find random things, or like I'll take task cards around the room and I can't find one, and then it fell down behind the. So
you're like, I can't find this. I can't find this for days.
And then a year later, you're like, oh, there it is. And not that teachers are pack rats or hoarders or anything like that.
That's just a stereotype.
Yeah, totally not true to form at all. Dom chimed in and said Quizlet Live makes the students interact with each other. Random group setup. Yeah, I love Quizlet Live, especially getting closer to PSSAs. I'll put all 4th grade vocabulary math, or 6th grade vocabulary math on there. And it divides them into groups. And like if you have 4 devices, it'll ask you for a definition, and only one student's device has the actual vocabulary word on it. So they have to work together to come up with the vocabulary word, and then the person can find that on their board or on their computer screen.
Jess just talked about Scoot is a fun game too. I never heard Scoot. So that's like.
Yeah, she'll have to tell us more about Scoot. I think I've seen it before. Or even like, the card game Spoons, where you're like passing cards around and the first person grabs, it's like math problems. Like you do 4 math problems and you get them all right. You can grab the spoon from the center. Sandra says she's done the snowball as an OCL lesson and icebreaker at the beginning of the year or semester. That's cool. Yeah, you don't have to do a snowball fight in winter for sure. Kids will love it. They ball up pieces of paper to throw them away anytime. And then, of course, you hear them saying, Kobe! And then they think that's the coolest things ever.
Yeah, my kindergartner said that one time, and I'm like, do you even know who Kobe is? And they said, no. I'm like,
no. Same thing in my 6th graders. All right, well, that's the end of our chat tonight. Just talk real quick about what's ahead for KTI and PAECT. Just to remind you that the KTI Summit applications are still being accepted until February 10th. So if you know of someone that you would think would be a perfect fit to attend Summit, make sure you nominate them to have your building principal nominate them, and encourage them to attend Summit and become part of our KTI family.
We also have the P&C conference coming up, which is on from February 9th all the way to the 12th in Hershey, Pennsylvania. We'll be hosting a pre-conference. KTI will be, and PACT will be hosting that. And feel free to check the website to see how to get involved. Because you can
that's at 1 o'clock right now. We're in the chocolate ballroom, but it might be changing. And if you can't make that, on February 19th, South Central is hosting a free virtual event on Zoom where people will share their takeaways. So that might be a cool way to get new resources. And we are going to be putting all this out on social media. So make sure you check the channels. And lastly, just check the PAECT website and see how you can stay connected to PAECT, to your PLN. And thank you so much for joining us tonight. Have a good winter.
Thanks, guys.